So every celebration needs sweet treats. So today we're honoring Earth Day with delicious vegan desserts.
Yeah, and here to teach us how to bake with plant-based spring colors is culinary expert Colin Asuncion. Welcome back to the show. Good to see you.
Oh, I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks for having me.
Nice to see you.
Wait to dig in.
Colin, a lot of people think that baking vegan sweets can't possibly be as good as ones that have like things like butter and things like that. So but you say they can actually be better. So what are the key elements to vegan baking?
Yeah, so I always say pick recipes that are vegan by design. So recipes that aren't trying too hard to pretend like there's something non-vegan.
Okay.
Because then your recipe will be a little bit simpler to execute. And then also you're gonna lean into natural flavors like coconut, chocolate, and fruit, and let those flavors sing, and then it'll result in a delicious dessert.
That's fantastic. All right, so are there some pantry items that we should stock up on?
Absolutely. So plant-based milk, so almond milk, oat milk, soy milk.
Love it.
And then to replace eggs, you're gonna wanna stock applesauce and pumpkin puree because those work as binding agents.
Okay, didn't know
and then also neutral oil, so avocado oil, coconut oil, or canola oil.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So today you have brought this gorgeous spread of treats, and you use natural ingredients to create these beautiful spring colors. So you're first going to show us how to make colored icing.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
We have a vegan icing right here. So this is so simple. It's just icing sugar, a little bit of corn syrup, and oat milk. And then I have these coloring agents here that you might find in your pantry, some natural flavors and natural ingredients. So we have beetroot powder, turmeric, and matcha. And like just adding one of those to your icing can make a beautiful color. So we're gonna start with just a little bit of turmeric.
Okay.
And then we're going to, crust form, but that's okay.
And that doesn't impact the flavor, because turmeric does have a little bit of a flavor.
It does impact the flavor a little bit, but if used sparingly, then it's not too crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, so look at that, a beautiful sort of mustardy
That's
yellow.
a great idea.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. All right, so the first sweet that you brought for us is the lemon poppy seed sugar cookie.
Yes.
So let's dive in. Talk to us about this one.
Okay, so this is very similar to sort of a traditional shortbread cookie. The only vegan swap is we replaced regular butter with vegan butter. And we added lemon zest and poppy seeds for like texture and flavor, and then we have that vegan icing on top.
Can I be honest with you? I don't care what's in this. This is really
Oh,
good.
good!
Really
Oh,
good.
great!
The hint of lemon is really nice. Okay, so tell me,
my
did you mix this color?
Yes, so that is actually, so the vegan glaze, but with butterfly pea powder. And that's PEA, not PEE, for that beautiful blue color. Yeah.
All right, so Colin, how would you customize these cookies?
So you could change the flavors of the dough itself. So you could do different zest, like orange zest, add cardamom, like different spices. Or you can make the cookie plain and then throw some jam in the middle and make a sandwich cookie.
That
That would be really good.
Okay, up next you have a blueberry coconut bundt cake.
Oh.
Yes.
Cakes are usually made with butter and eggs and milk. So talk about the vegan substitutes in this.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna cut you some slices while I chat. So this was inspired sort of like by like a powdered donut. Yeah.
Right?
And so the vegan, I might make a little bit of a mess.
That's
but
okay,
that's
we'll clean it up. We'll eat it.
So we have, instead of butter, we have oil. Instead of dairy milk, we have coconut milk. And then instead of eggs, we use applesauce. So really great vegan alternatives.
Okay.
And then of course there's toasted coconut in there. Oh, I'm gonna make a total mess.
look
but
at
c'est
that
la vie.
That looks
There's
so
one
that
for
good.
you.
is.
And I'm gonna
There's
turn
one
this
for
around
you.
so everybody can see the inside of this
enjoy.
delicious
Oh
cake.
my
right?
gosh. Okay. Talk about, like, I've made bunt
What
whatever
made a bunt
cakes
cakes?
before, but I hate it when they get stuck. So you have any tips for that?
Yes, you know, unmolding a bundt cake is so annoying. It is like the bane of my existence, but with a few tips, you can do it very successfully. So you want to grease the heck out of your pan. So whether you're using oil or vegan butter, just make sure it's really well coated, and then coat it with a generous coating of flour. That's why you have this sort of powdered donut look. And then, once your cake is done cooking, let it sit for 15 to 30 minutes so it gets pretty cool but a little bit warm, and then when you flip it over, it should slip right out.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great tips. This is
so
delicious.
Oh, I'm so glad.
No one would know. Also,
No.
like, let's just
Right?
say that you could totally fool your anti-vegan
good.
friends.
Yeah, they would have absolutely no idea. All right, so
good.
next up we're gonna do a no-bake brownie. So how do you do that? I've never heard of that.
So this is the no-bake brownie, and it's sort of like a chocolate fudge, and it only takes 3 ingredients for the base.
That's it.
So just 3, it's wild. And if you can mix stuff in a bowl, you can make this recipe. So it has cocoa, almond butter, and maple syrup for sweetness. This is a very dark chocolate flavor, so it's like closer to that bittersweet flavor. And then we've topped it with vegan chocolate and cacao nibs for a little crunch.
Oh my God, like, I'm in heaven.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you like it.
You need me to move in.
Sure.
I'll do the
Come on
chores.
down.
I'll do the cleanup. You cook and I'll do the cleanup.
I love it.
What are some ways that we could customize these?
So you could add different inclusions. Like you could add nuts to the dough, and you can top it with different things. You could add some flaky sea salt. You could add some more nuts. Or, so store-bought chocolate sandwich cookies are usually vegan. So you could chop those up and throw those on top as well.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
That's
You
very
just
cool.
have to check,
Wild, right?
check the ingredients.
Check the ingredients for sure. But yeah, usually they are vegan.
Speaking of cookies, you brought another cookie for us to try. Tell us about these matcha strawberry amaretti cookies. Okay.
Yeah, so these are inspired by that classic Italian amaretti cookie, but I put a little bit of a twist on the flavors by adding matcha green tea powder and then adding strawberry jam in the middle for just a little bit of a different flavor experience.
All right, before I inhale this cookie, I understand that there's a special ingredient in it. What is it?
Yes, so it's called aquafaba, which is, I just heard a gasp, love that. It's basically the water from a can of chickpeas.
So it's chickpea water.
Chickpea water, and then you whip it up and it foams up like a meringue. It's wild. And then you can use that in pavlova, in macarons, or in amaretti cookies.
I loved everything so far. This might be my favorite.
Oh, great.
Surprisingly, I
Okay.
wasn't expecting that. Let's talk about these cookies that get their green hue from the matcha green tea powder. But what are some other flavors that could work?
So you could do lemon and turmeric would work really well together, sort of like a spiced donut quality. You could replace the matcha green tea with Earl Grey or another tea, and you can of course swap out the jams to really customize it.
Oh, I love it.
Every time I go to eat something else, my question comes up. So let me put my fork down. So our final dessert you've brought us is a plant-based panna cotta with mixed berry sauce.
Okay.
Colin,
Oh,
talk to us, my friend.
So excited for you to try this one. So a panna cotta is like a milk pudding, but this time we did a coconut milk to make it vegan, and then we've topped it with a mixed berry sauce, which has like 4 or 5 berries in there, cooked down with some sugar, and topped that panna cotta off with that.
It's so gorgeous,
good.
Colin. You are so creative.
Oh, thank you.
you for
Incredible.
bringing these incredible plant-based desserts. So amazing.
Thank you so much for having me.
We are in the heart of award show season with just 11 days till the biggest night in Hollywood, the Oscars.
And if you're gathering with friends to watch the big show, you'll need some stellar snacks to make it a red carpet event. And lucky for us, culinary expert Colin Asuncion is here with some really tasty treats to help you host the ultimate award show party at home. Welcome,
Thank you for having me.
we
It's
are
so great to be here.
excited. Hey, first of all, what should we keep in mind? Like, is there a secret sort of recipe or trick when we're thinking about what kind of snacks make for a good night like that?
So the key word is elevated. So you want to really elevate everything you're serving to your guests. So add that decorative element, use those premium ingredients to really give your food that wow factor. And then also you want it to be easy to eat. So handheld things, or something that only requires one utensil. That really makes it easy for your guests to enjoy themselves.
Those are hot tips. I
Hot
like
tips.
that.
I love that. Okay, so let's get to the food because it all looks incredible. And I think it's starting with like what would be a staple of any viewing party, and that is popcorn. But you're not talking about your basic butter and salt kind of recipe, right?
That's right. Butter and salt is great for the movie theater, but we need some super sexy flavors for our super sexy party. Am I right, ladies? You know I'm right. Yeah, so we brought some different variations today. So I brought a cookies and cream variation. So I popped some popcorn. Yeah. So drizzle some melted white chocolate on top and then crush some chocolate sandwich cookies for a little sweet experience. And then we also have a Cajun one. So I used Cajun seasoning and then some salt and sugar. So that's a key point. When you're doing your own popcorn seasoning, always add a little bit of sugar to balance your flavors. So that's my hot tip of the day.
I didn't know how I'd feel. Salty sweet, obviously, but I wasn't too sure about the cookie one. I love it.
It's good, right?
This one, what did you say, Cajun?
Cajun. Yeah,
It's
Cajun
so
seasoning.
good.
Oh,
There's
good.
also something that happens when I have these two options in front of me. I think I'm not gonna go for the sweet one, I'm just gonna go for the savory. But then I go back and forth and back and forth and back and
100%.
forth.
That's right. And we're gonna light our mouths on fire with one more flavor that we're gonna make right here. So Cynthia, I'm gonna ask for your help.
Okay.
So you have a jar of popcorn in
I
front
do?
of you.
Okay,
So
yep.
unscrew that lid, and then I have some ingredients in front of you to just literally just throw in the jar.
Okay, what are we putting in here?
We have some grated Parmesan cheese. So
whole thing?
as much as you like. Honestly, if you like very cheesy, you can do the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then-
Good.
Oh yeah.
What else?
And then we have grated lemon zest, fresh lemon.
I love where you're going with
right?
this.
Lemon parmesan, love that.
I don't know.
combo.
Okay,
And
what-
then a little bit of dried parsley.
So just a little bit, or put it
I'd
in?
say just honestly, it's just for color.
Okay, it's just for, okay, all right. Well,
Just
it all went in
keeping
there.
it real with you
okay,
guys.
So, and I don't have any butter or anything
No
like that.
butter,
on this.
and
This
just
is dry?
shake, totally dry, and then shake that as much as possible.
Okay.
Shake it like you're a backup singer with a maraca. Yeah, work.
Okay, all right,
And
fine.
then that's it. So it's as simple as that, and you can play with lots of different flavor combos to customize your own popcorn.
Oh, it's cheesy.
Yeah?
Good.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
You're into it? Me.
Really delightful.
I see you. I see you. Oh my God.
I'm so glad you like it.
Oh, this is really great day today. Next up, we have a swanky soiree. You can't have a swanky soiree without some fancy bites, but we want to keep it simple. So what do you recommend?
So I always go for puff pastry hors d'oeuvres, and because they're so simple, easy to eat, easy to make. So you can grab them from the grocery store in the freezer section, or you can make your own, which is what we did today, obviously. So you take some store-bought puff pastry, still having one store-bought element, and then throwing different ingredients and inclusions in, pop it in the oven, and then you have a totally customized little hors d'oeuvre.
Okay, so they're not exactly piggies in a blanket, but they're pretty close. There are lots of weird things in a blanket, so talk about them. Talk about what they are.
These are my weird things in a blanket. I love
Oh my
that.
God, that sounds like a good
I'm a
movie,
weird thing in a
too.
blanket
Yeah.
sometimes. So we start with brie and cherry preserves.
That's whatever-
That's the
no,
one back over
that's
here.
here, okay.
And then we have prosciutto and provolone in the
Ooh,
little
I'll go
sort of
with that one.
tarts. And then we have apple cheddar. So yeah, have a bite. I hope you love it. And it's as simple as taking store-bought puff pastry, rolling it out, and then adding anything you like, and then adding a little egg wash, popping it in the oven at 400, and then you're all set.
That's what I love about store-bought puff pastries. Like, sky's the limit.
Yeah,
Gonna have
exactly.
so much fun.
Yeah.
What do I use? Leftovers. Go ahead.
So good. Okay,
100%.
next up, you want us to do a signature drink to make this party pop. So
Yes.
what did you come up with?
So I've come up with a lychee green tea mocktail because lychee is one of my absolute favorite flavors.
Oh, I
so I'm
love
gonna make one for you right here. So we start with a little lychee nectar. If you can't find lychee nectar in the grocery store, you can just take canned lychee and use the syrup that's inside.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then that's a little bit sweeter, so that's just something to take note of. And then we have some iced green tea. And what I love about adding green tea is you got a little bit of caffeine because the Oscars are so
Yes.
long
Good point.
that you need something to keep you awake, honestly, and then just a little splash of club soda. So this will keep you going all night long. Have a few of these, and if you want to make it boozy, you could add vodka or replace the club soda with champagne.
Oh, that's
Okay.
a nice idea.
And then we garnish with a lychee
Okay, let's try
fruit.
this.
So
Let's
these
try
are for
this.
you.
Cheers, thank
Cheers
you.
to
For making
you.
this.
Oh my God, my
Cheers.
pleasure.
Cheers.
I'm gonna have one
God.
too,
Okay,
actually.
We're gonna try this.
Cheers, my friend.
That is
Cheers.
delightful, delightful.
Okay,
But
amazing.
I need to get to this cake because I've been staring at it.
Let's do it.
Tell me everything about it, and then when can I try it?
So I wanted to inject more popcorn into the menu because we are watching the Oscars, we're watching some movies. So this is a caramel corn cake. So it's a cornbread cake base and then a salted caramel frosting and drizzled salted caramel in between the layers. And it's just, I love this cake. I love eating it, I love making it, and I hope you love eating it too.
It's gorgeous.
Well, I'll simply have to test
Here-
it to
that is
try
for
it.
you,
Oh my
100%.
gosh. Oh,
Just
here we
see
go.
what
She
And
passed
there
it
you
along.
go. Please
my
enjoy.
goodness.
And what's great about this is if you wanted to take a shortcut, you could actually use boxed cornbread mix and just add a little extra sugar, and then you could use that for the cake.
This is so good, like a cornbread muffin mixed with popcorn delight.
I never
Anyway,
thought
so
about
good.
using the cornbread.
So good.
A new twist on popcorn.
Colin, we have less than a minute left, but we really
Okay.
want to get to this last treat, which involves chocolate, which I feel like
Yes.
we're all going to be behind that.
Yes,
Tell
that's
us what
right.
you bring.
So we're gonna do this really quickly. So Jess, I would ask you to put some gloves on
Yes.
because you're gonna make one right now. We're hand rolling some truffles.
Super
so
quick.
I've prepared some ganache for you here, which is just chocolate cream and a little bit of butter.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna ask you to, and I'll help you out here, just since we don't have a lot of time. We're scooping out.
We're scooping.
And then we're gonna put that on our hands and roll it into a ball.
Look at her.
Oh,
then- yeah.
delicious! Oh, I love it. And then you
And then
just dip.
dip it in the.
Dip.
It got a little warm in studio,
If
my
this
friend.
doesn't say chic, I don't know what does.
So please enjoy. These are the ones that are not smeared on our gloves. Woo! Live television.
I'm story. I'm never
See,
gonna
this is actually fun. If you were at a party,
Yes,
if I were at a party and
exactly.
this happened, I would say invite me back tomorrow night. This is great.
Yeah, and we
These
brought
are
gloves
so good,
too.
Colin. Thank you
You're
so
so
much
welcome.
for your humor.
Welcome back. They say we eat with our eyes first when it comes to food. Presentation is everything. But for a simple and elegant way to serve desserts, look no further than your kitchen cupboard.
This is true.
It's true.
Because all you need, apparently, is some glassware. So here to share his favorite cupped confections is culinary expert Colin Asuncion. Welcome back to the show,
Thank you for having me.
So good to have you
It's
here.
great to be
Okay,
here.
so Colin, I love dessert and I like cups. So why do you recommend having a dessert in a cup?
Well, I say cups because bowls and plates are so yesterday.
Okay.
They are 2000 and late
If you
for all
say
of you
so.
millennials out there. But actually, like, jokes aside, I just think serving something in an individual cup is so elegant. It feels really fancy, and it's a nice way to elevate a holiday gathering.
Yeah, we love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what makes the perfect dessert cup? Or is there such a thing?
There is a perfect dessert cup. It has to have layers. It has to
Okay.
have multiple flavors and a variety of textures. So you're really telling a story with every single bite.
Oh,
That's really important to me.
okay.
Yeah.
Shall we begin?
Let's do
Let's
it.
tell a
Okay,
story.
so let's
Okay.
start with something that you call maple milk. Walk us through it.
We're gonna make it right now. And this is, I think, going to be the easiest dessert I have ever brought here and the easiest demo. So we've heard of chocolate milk. We've made strawberry milk together in studio, but today we're making maple milk. You need 2 ingredients. 2, read them, 2. So we take some pure maple syrup and we pour that in a cocktail shaker.
Is there any ice in there?
No ice because we're going room temp today.
Room temp?
I like
I don't know
room
why,
temp.
just because.
Okay.
And then some milk, and milk of your choice. Pour that in. We did about like 1 to 2 tablespoons of the maple syrup, and then milk to the volume of your choice.
And you can use any kind of milk?
Any kind of milk. It could be dairy or non-dairy, and I really hope this doesn't leak. And if it does,
Okay,
we're in the
just gonna go
splash
with it.
zone.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
we're
go
just
with
gonna
it.
go with it.
That's
So
a
then
little.
we shake that
Oh,
up,
okay, fine.
and yeah, we're good. So
Very
we
good.
shake this to make sure that the maple syrup and the milk gets properly incorporated,
Yeah.
so there's
Okay.
no like loose little weird bits. And then
Yeah.
that's the dessert.
That's it?
Yeah, so I'm gonna pour
that's
this
the drink
into these
dessert.
glasses, and then I'm gonna hand you each a glass, and then you're gonna top with some whipped
you.
cream. Oh, you're so
Oh,
welcome.
we top with whipped cream.
With some whipped cream. So you just take the canister, give it a little shake,
Okay,
and
love it.
then squeeze the nozzle and make sure the can is
Okay, wait.
facing directly downwards.
Let me see if
Yeah.
we can do it. Oh,
there you go.
yay.
Oh yeah, very nice. Beautiful.
Oh, she's so
So
pretty.
great. And then we have a little caramel sauce if you want to drizzle on top with a little spoon.
Are you kidding?
Oh my
yeah, why
gosh.
not?
All
Or
right.
just right from the bowl, why not?
Colin,
For
why
a
do
little
I have the
extra
next
decadence.
question? This is so good. I just want to drink it. Okay, let me be a professional. All right, we're approaching the festive season, so your next treat is one that would be perfect, a perfect fit for a holiday hangout. Talk to us about the chocolate peppermint cups.
Absolutely. So chocolate and peppermint are such a classic holiday flavor combo, and I've created a classic chocolate mousse cup with a hint of peppermint. So we have chocolate cake in the base, and then we have a chocolate mousse that's been infused with a little bit of peppermint extract, and then fresh whipped cream on top. So take a bite. I hope you love it. It's a holiday classic.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, oh
Wait,
good.
wait, wait.
Glad you like it.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, good.
Some people don't love, I don't know who they are, but they don't like this chocolate, the pairing of chocolate with mint. So talk about other flavors we do.
Yeah, so that flavor combo can be a little bit polarizing. I love it personally, but if you don't love chocolate and mint, take the peppermint extract out of the mousse, and then you could do chocolate orange. So you would soak the cake with some orange liqueur.
That's more controversial.
yeah,
in my
true.
opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Or you could do raspberry jam if you wanted to do
Okay.
chocolate raspberry. Yeah,
Oh my
so there's
God, so
options.
good.
Wow. Okay,
good.
saving that one for later. Okay, next up, it is something that you call a milk tea mousse with coconut lychee jelly. What is that?
So it's in these beautiful little teacups in front of you because I wanted to bring teacup or tea party energy. So I love bubble tea, and honestly, I'm just always trying to work bubble tea themes into my segments here. So we start with a coconut lychee jelly base, and then we have a milk tea mousse with little flecks of white chocolate, and then we've topped it with a little bit more coconut jelly for a little bubble tea experience.
It's very
is a-
unexpected.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
This is
What's
such a
this
good
thing
idea.
on top? What's this thing on
What are
top?
some of the ways to customize this?
So you could customize every single layer. So you could do a fruit jelly at the base instead of coconut. You could do different tea for the mousse. You could do like hojicha or matcha would be amazing.
yeah.
And then you could just top it with anything you like whipped cream or chopped fruit. And today the little heart on top is more coconut jelly.
Oh, yes.
So good. Okay, so we're gonna go fun and festive again with this next one. you incorporated eggnog into this next cup. Talk about this.
So
I'm diving in.
Eggnog, a lot of people love eggnog. I'm not a huge fan, personally. I feel like it's like...
Are you
Same.
really?
Yeah.
I feel like, to me, when I see eggnog, it's like, is it a French toast protein shake? Like, what's happening here? It's giving protein shake. So I wanted to incorporate the flavors and vibe of eggnog, but do it in a custard. Yeah, so we have a spiced custard with a gingerbread cookie base. Oh, good. I'm so glad you like it. And some whipped cream on top, because why not?
Okay, talk to me about custard. I feel like that would be a little challenging to make, no?
Well, custard isn't difficult, but it's daunting because there are some pitfalls that people fall into.
Okay.
And one of them is accidentally making scrambled eggs because you have to mix hot liquid with raw eggs. And if you mix it all at once, you get an omelet. And we don't want that. So the way that you do that properly is you temper your eggs. You take your beaten eggs and your hot liquid and you slowly pour in the hot liquid while you whisk constantly because it brings up the temperature slowly and that properly tempers your eggs.
There's another really good way to do it. We just get you to do it because you're very
Oh, that too. That's right. Yes, I can do that too.
I was like, okay, mine. I'm like, why would I do that when I know you? I'm like, yeah, whatever it costs. All right, so our last dessert is a mango pudding cup. I cannot wait to dive into this one. Talk to us about it.
Okay, so mango pudding, it's a common popular dessert in a lot of Asian countries. And sometimes it comes in like a fish mold with some beautiful milk on top. But we've served ours in, surprise, surprise, a cup.
Oh my God.
So
It looks like a little mason jar.
yeah, so these ones are actually jars, actually not exactly cups, but cup adjacent. So it's mango puree, some gelatin, some milk and sugar, and it's like a simple, delicious dessert.
It's heaven.
Oh my
good.
gosh. Would you do any other fruits?
Any fruit that blends well, so like blueberries or strawberries would be great. The only thing to avoid would be pineapple, because pineapple has this enzyme that doesn't let it gel when you add gelatin. So avoid pineapple, but any other fruit that blends well could be great.
Okay, so, and I understand you could make this vegan if you wanted to.
So you would swap the dairy milk for coconut milk, and then gelatin you'd swap for agar-agar. You just can't do a one-for-one swap, so just follow the instructions on the packet and you'll be all set.
Sorry, what's agar-agar?
It's derived from seaweed, and it's an alternative for gelatin for vegan people.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for,
Exactly.
I mean, we didn't even need lunch. We went straight to dessert, and we love that.
As we should. you
As
know?
we should.
Yeah.
Colin, thank you for these.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Fantastic idea.
Thanks for having me.
Wow.
Interesting ingredients and unexpected flavors have rebranded the humble cookie from simple treat to decadent dessert.
And since today is International Cookie Day, our next guest is serving up unique recipes to inspire your holiday baking. Please welcome back to the show, Gavin Knox. Good to see you. First of all, can we talk about how cute this shirt is? Is this not the most adorable thing? I love
Such a sweet shirt.
So cute. So
hey, listen, we're in the moment of like a cookie renaissance. It feels like it's not just bakeries, traditional bakeries opening up. It's like actual stores that are just selling cookies. So why do you think this is?
So yeah, it's a cookie crazy time at the moment. And there's a couple of factors to this, I think. Sometimes you just want a little bite of something sweet. You know, you don't want to have to splash out for a whole cake, or you don't want to have maybe a dozen donuts. And cookies serve that factor. And I believe one of the main contributors to this is after or during pandemic, actually, in lockdown, people were at home and they discovered baking. They got back into it.
Yes.
You know, I remember the great yeast drought of 2020 when everybody was baking. And then when the world kicked back in again, people decided, you know what, do I really want to go back to an office job? And they started using those talents that they found at home. So hence you've got like all these pop-up stores and cookie boutique stores using, you know, unusual or unique flavors.
I wonder if it's a little nostalgia too. Because when I think of cookies, like cookies and milk, I think about being a little kid.
Really,
Yeah,
for me,
it
it's my
hits
afternoon
that.
treat. It's a good cup of coffee or tea and a nice cookie. That's all you need, and I
it's a
love
sugar
that.
rush.
And I heard that you said for this festive season, don't go with the traditional, mix things up. So I'm curious, what did you bring for our first cookie?
So first out of the gate, we have an espresso martini cookie. So
Are you kidding me?
No. I always in there.
Can we
So
eat it
it's
now?
that one.
Oh, it's this one.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm so
basically.
my eyes are dazzling.
I know,
Okay.
too many.
Okay.
So you've got a coffee chocolate cookie with white chocolate chips and some ground up espresso beans in there.
Okay.
This then is topped with a coffee liqueur white chocolate buttercream and finished off
Y'all.
with an espresso covered cup or chocolate covered espresso bean.
Gavin, this cookie hits in waves. Like you bite it and you're like, oh yeah. And then you're like, oh
Hopefully good
yeah.
ones.
Then you're like,
So good.
so lovely.
I like to build it up, what can I
You
say?
built it. You built up those flavors. Incredible. Now, shortbread, obviously, super traditional holiday treat.
Everybody does it.
But you've done something a little unexpected. There's like a mystery ingredient in this. So we're gonna give them a taste and try to
this one?
guess.
No taste, that's
Okay.
it there.
All right, let's see.
Give it a taste, see what happens, see what you're feeling, what are you tasting, what are you getting.
Jess, you
taking
should be better at
silence
this.
is a good thing.
Captain in the kitchen, you should be good at this. What are we tasting? I'm just tasting goodness.
So these are basically, it's a shortbread flavored with roasted pecans and candy cap mushrooms.
What?
Not those type I would hasten to add.
I never would have guessed this.
These are basically a type of mushroom that, unlike standard mushrooms, don't taste mushroomy. They actually taste like other things. So some taste like spices, some taste like seafood. In this case, they taste like maple syrup or burnt sugar. So when they're dried, grind them up, add the powder into your shortbread, and you get that kind of mapley, molassesy.
But without being cloyingly sweet.
Yeah, it's not over the top. It's a hint.
Listen, I'm looking for that mushroom taste, and I cannot find it, y'all.
No.
No, it's not
so
mushroomy
good.
at all. You can sneak it in there.
All right, so what have you topped this cookie with?
So these are topped with a delicious bourbon buttercream. Oh. So this cookie to me is just like, it just smacks of coziness and fireside. So whether it's campsite or log burners, and adding in bourbon there into the buttercream kind of increased that for me.
I feel like you could put that cream on an old shoe, and it'd be like, that old shoe tastes delicious.
And for my next segment,
Right? Shoes. It's so good.
Okay, so next you brought a more classic route for the holidays. It is a red velvet peppermint cookie. Please tell us about these.
so yes, this is classic. You know, you've got the red velvet, you've got white chocolate, crushed candy cane. Because who doesn't like a dash of peppermint on the holidays? You know, you've got like schnapps in their candy canes. So these are a red velvet cookie, and I finished them off with a white candy melt, which is easier to use than chocolate. And then I've finished them off with some crushed candy cane. When you're making them, a handy hint is use a food gel as opposed to a food liquid dye, because by the time you add the amount that you need of a liquid, it affects the consistency. Whereas the gel is more concentrated, you can get that really vivid color without affecting your batter.
That's a hot tip. I love that.
There you go.
Okay.
So what other flavors would you pair with red velvet?
Yeah.
So red velvet, of course, you have the quintessential red velvet cake, which brings to mind cream cheese. Now, if you're making these out of hollies, which you can, just drop the peppermint flavor and put on a cream cheese frosting. You could also use maybe a dark chocolate ganache, would also work really well with it, and kind of pick up the cocoa notes of the cocoa notes
I
of the
love that
cookie.
idea of the dark chocolate. That's a great idea.
Great.
It's a good one.
All right, so let's move on to our next cookie. This one sounds incredible. The orange cranberry and prosecco sandwich cookie.
It is so beautiful.
I don't even want to eat it. It's
fancy.
so pretty. But I'm gonna eat
So
it
yeah,
anyways.
eat it. That's what it's there for. So yeah, these are basically like I guess you could say a party cookie. It's more sparkly in more ways than one. So,
Like a party in your mouth. Sorry.
so
I'm waiting for you to eat it. I was like, put it in your mouth already. It's so good. The orange.
So these are an orange shortbread with orange zest in the shortbread, and then you have a cranberry and prosecco buttercream, and finished off then with a cranberry sugar glaze on it, and just for a little extra sparkle to go with the bubbles, some edible glitter on top there as well.
That is a winner.
I think this might be my favorite so far. It's tough to
It's
choose.
beautiful, and it also is incredible. I've never tasted anything like it. All right.
Good, that's a winner.
The next one is another mystery. You want us to guess the flavors.
Yes.
So we're gonna taste.
That one in there. Is that
There's a
one
few
there?
in this one, I think.
Yep.
Okay. Here we go.
There's a
Here we go.
little bit.
Oh, like a red pepper jelly?
Peanuts?
Peanut red pepper jelly. Okay, so basically, what we have here is what I call a pad thai cookie. So in here, basically.
Wait, am I right?
Yep. There is
was
peanuts.
right.
There is peanuts, but it's a bacon fat and peanut butter cookie, and I've added in some lime zest and fish sauce to kind of pick up those
Oh
pad
my
thai
God,
notes.
it's so
Bacon
good.
Bacon fat, and then finished it with a tamarind buttercream on top. So of course you're picking up all those notes of my favorite dish in Thai food,
And
pad
there's a little
thai.
bit of a kick, a little bit of a
There's a
peppery
kick,
taste.
and that's picked up from the candied chilies on top.
Oh my gosh, this is so inventive and exciting. I
No
love
more
it.
chocolate chips.
All right, so I feel like most people probably haven't baked with bacon fat before. So what are some other ways we can use it?
Okay, breakfast is the first thing that comes to mind.
Of course.
When you're doing your fried breakfast, cook your bacon first, and you'll have the rendered fat in your pan. Then cook your eggs in that. So your eggs pick up that bacon flavor.
Okay.
Another favorite dish of mine is one I grew up with, having in Ireland as a kid for breakfast, is fried bread. So ordinary store-bought sliced loaf, cut in triangles, fry it in your bacon fat so it soaks up all that fat. As you can see, it's really healthy.
No, we have the same thing in the Caribbean. We just call it fried bakes. We have the same thing you're
so it's
describing,
fried
and I'm
fat.
like, yeah, we have it for breakfast.
Yeah, it's
Same
for
thing.
breakfast.
Together, I love it. Okay, we're ending with something more classic. Tell us about your Black Forest cake.
So these are Black Forest cookies, and they're an homage to my mom because of this time of year, she would always get a little bit fancy and make those fancy bakes like Black
What's in
Forest.
this little?
I'll get to that. It's a little bit of cedar.
Just
Yeah,
drink it?
you can squirt it in your mouth if you want. No, go ahead. Or you can put it on the cookie, drizzle it. It's
Oh,
actually
good.
it's the cherry juice. So yeah, these are based on a Black Forest gatto. You have a chocolate cookie, and then you have a white chocolate ganache, which has been infused with spruce tips. Yes, from a tree. And then you've got amarena cherries on top, so you pick up all those flavors.
Every time we like a cookie, you top it. This is incredible.
I like to keep you guessing.
This is incredible.
Coming back for more.
Evan, you are an absolute delight. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for this. Absolutely incredible.
Oh my goodness.
And studio audience, listen up to this. Our friends at Gay Lee want to help you save money on your holiday baking this year. So they're sending you all home with a prize package of products. We all want summer to last for as long as possible. So today, we're holding on to that sun-soaked, carefree feeling the best way we know how, with classic carnival food.
Yes. And we're taking inspiration from the fall fairs happening across the country to indulge in sugary sensations and deep-fried deliciousness. Yes. Here with his carnival creations is culinary expert Colin Asuncion.
Thank you for having
This
me.
table smells incredible.
We are so
dig in.
excited.
Oh,
and
good.
of course, there are so many fall fairs that are happening across the country, like the Hants County exhibition in Nova Scotia and the 80th anniversary of the Alberni District Fall Fair in BC. And this weekend also marks the start of my childhood favorite, the Western Fair in London, Ontario. And I think we have a little photo of me waiting to get on a ride.
So you've
oh my
been a troublemaker since day one.
I've been a trouble. Look at that little devil.
What a cutie patootie.
Isn't she cute? But enough about me. What is it about the Midway Fair and the food that has inspired you?
I just think it's so fun. Like carnival food and fair food, it's so fun. And I think in the culinary world, we can get so serious and everything can get really meticulous and just a little not as fun as it should be. Like food should be about joy and excitement and whimsy. So that's what I like about fall food.
Exactly. And some big Canadian fairs wrapped up this week. There was the Brome Fair in Quebec and the CNE here in Toronto, of course, which is known for its wildly super creative, over-the-top foods. I hear that they had like a lobster and butter ice cream flavor. And they also had a Fruity Pebbles corn dog that is actually the inspiration behind your first dish.
Yes, that
So
is
tell us
right.
about it.
You brought us one?
I brought you something a little bit different. It's a Fruity Pebble cake dog, if you will. So it's a cake pop, but covered in Fruity Pebbles. So it has a red velvet cake interior because the Fruity Pebble corn dog at the CNE, it was a little polarizing. Not everybody loved it. So I thought, let's just go sweet all the way and deliver a delightful cake pop.
Andrea!
Are you into it?
I'm totally into it.
This is so good.
The worst part is
good.
they gave me the next question in my mouth as well. All right, so how do you make a cake pop?
Well, it couldn't be easier, let me tell you. So you take some cake, you take some frosting, you blend it together, you create sort of like a wet dough, kind of like Play-Doh, and then you make a ball or a sausage in this case, and then you dip it in white chocolate or candy melts, and then first you have to like shove a stick in it first, and then you use that to dip it in white chocolate or candy melts, and then you add some fun toppings, and there you go.
I feel like you could really play around with the flavors and combinations here.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because it's just cake and frosting in the interior, like you could do anything you want with the flavor of the cake and the flavor of the frosting, and then the outside, you can top it with so many different things, like nuts or like dried fruit, sprinkles, candy, anything you like, really.
All right, well, a Midway is not a Midway unless there's some deep-fried food.
Oh yes.
And you decided to deep-fry a Canadian classic. Talking about Nanaimo bars.
Yes.
Talk to us. First of all, explain what Nanaimo bars, because there are people who actually don't know what they are.
That's right, yeah. So a Nanaimo bar is a no-bake Canadian dessert. It hails from Nanaimo, BC, which is how it gets its name. So there's like a coconutty oat chocolate base, a custard middle, and then chocolate on the top. And I have deep-fried it for you today. Yeah, that's right. And we top it with whipped cream. You know, again, you can't have carnival food unless something is deep fried.
Oh my goodness.
That's right.
Y'all.
Oh, good, yes.
How do you make this? Tell me
Okay,
everything.
so I wanted to keep it easy for you because it is September. It's back to school. Everybody's stressed. I can smell it in the air. So I wanted to make it easy for you. So we got store-bought Nanaimo bars and pancake batter, store-bought pancake mix. Yeah, so you don't have to make your own batter from scratch. You can just grab that box mix and like Bob's your uncle. And there you go.
Oh my God.
Okay. I have to stop eating because I got questions to ask you. I'm sorry.
Never stop, never
it's
stop.
It's just so damn good.
Oh, good.
All right, so deep frying can intimidate a lot of people.
Yes.
That's flashback. So any tips for them?
Okay, so tip number one, your oil needs to be at the perfect temperature. So between 350 and 375. If it's too cold, it'll get too oily, like it won't cook fast enough. And if it's too hot, it'll burn. And then the item that you're deep frying, you wanna make sure it keeps its shape. So in the case of the Nanaimo bars, you wanna chill them in advance. So put them in the fridge.
Smart tip.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really, you
Yeah.
get something very interesting.
Yes, 100%.
Hey, the next dish is like a mega mashup of Spam with nachos.
Yes.
What is the inspiration behind this dish?
Well, I just love Spam. I'm Filipino, and I grew up eating Spam for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, like any time of day. So here we've mashed it up with nachos. So we have tortilla chips, Spam, kimchi, nori, green onions, and sriracha mayo for a real fusion-y experience. This is one of my favorite things I brought today, so I hope you like it.
All right, well, I'm learning my lesson. I'm not gonna eat. I'm gonna wait till I ask you this next question.
Okay.
So, since not everyone loves Spam, I don't know what's wrong with you. What swaps
Agreed.
do you recommend?
Well, if you need to break my heart and take the Spam out of this dish, I would recommend maybe kielbasa or hot dogs or bacon, or you could do a vegan meat if you are plant-based. Lots of options.
This is really good.
Oh, good.
There's a lot of spice in it. It's very flavorful.
Yes,
Really
lots.
good. All right, well, a fare, of course, is not a fare unless you have over-the-top drinks. And I understand that this next drink that you brought for us is like a breakfast of champions. This is a coffee donut milkshake.
Yes, exactly.
Paula,
Because
what are you trying to do to us?
So in Canada, we love our coffee shops and we love our donut shops. So here we've combined the two. So we have coffee, ice cream, milk, cold brew, and donuts blended into the milkshake. Topped it with whipped cream and garnished it with, of course, more mini donuts. So
do it.
I hope you love a little
I
refreshing
feel like you could come up with endless donut variations, combinations
100%.
here, right?
Yeah, because there's so
I
many
can taste the
flavors of
coffee.
donuts. Yeah, oh, good. And you can you can make a different ice cream combo. There's so many options for you to make this your own.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is so good, Colin.
I'm so glad.
I feel like carnivals always tend to create hybrid sort of Franken foods
Yes.
by combining things that, sometimes maybe we don't think they belong together. Other times we're surprised to learn that they do. And that's what you've brought for our final dish.
Yes.
With hot Cheeto waffles?
Oh, yes. So we have a buttermilk waffle, and I've infused hot Cheetos in there by crushing up those hot Cheetos, inserting it into the batter, topping it with maple syrup, whipped cream, and more crushed hot Cheetos for a really fun, exciting experience.
You are incredible.
I
And
hope you love it.
I understand that this waffle recipe calls for buttermilk, but you say you don't actually have to use that. Go out and buy a carton. So what can we use instead?
Yes, so if you don't have buttermilk at home, you just take a cup of milk, any milk, it doesn't even have to be dairy, and then you add a tablespoon of vinegar or lemon juice, let it sit for 5 minutes, and that's your homemade buttermilk. So you can use that in any recipe that calls for it.
Oh, what's your favorite?
Move in with me, Colin.
my favorite.
Move in with me, my friend.
Deal.
That's so good.
Done and done.
Oh my God.
This one's my fave,
That's
for
your
sure.
fave?
The Spam nachos. Oh,
I don't know if I
so
can
good.
pick. They're all so good. Colin, thank you so much for bringing the
thank
fun to
you.
the studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
Carnival treats. Who would have thunk, huh?
Taylor Swift is known for many things, like her obsession with the number 13, her love of her cats, and her impeccable baking skills.
So today we're celebrating the pop star by giving some of her favorite recipes a try. Here to teach us how to bake it off, like Taylor Swift, is Swiftie superfan Gavin Knox.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
And I am so excited because it feels like your two worlds are colliding today. You're a baker, you're a Swiftie, and here we are. This is glorious. So give us some insight into Taylor the baker.
Yeah, so I'm absolutely thrilled, as always, to be here talking about two big passions of mine. In my red era.
You got it, nailed it.
So Taylor, as we know, when she's not touring or producing albums, she is an avid baker. She's constantly online doing shout outs to chefs, to other bakers, to foodies that she loves and supports. She bakes for Travis and his team, the Kansas City Chiefs. She bakes for her celebrity friends.
Yeah.
And actually, recently, I'm not one for gossip, but Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, I believe, has gone on record saying that, you know, Taylor and his daughter Sterling, who's 3, have been bonding over baking.
Oh, so sweet.
And it was really, really cute.
Yeah,
That is
so good.
so sweet. So I do want to get into some of Taylor's favorite recipes, starting off with the sweet treat she's most famous for. She even posted a really cute handwritten recipe on Tumblr back in the day. So tell us about her chai sugar cookie.
Sure, yes. In the days of Tumblr, does anybody actually remember that?
I never used it.
So Taylor posted a handwritten recipe, which was a huge hit with fans, and is based on a recipe by Joy the Baker. It's a sugar cookie, which Taylor tweaked by adding some of her own ingredients to it.
Can I put it in my mouth?
Work away. I've not. So basically, Taylor tweaked it. It's a basic sugar cookie recipe, but she tweaked it by adding some chai tea leaves. So basically, a chai tea bag, open it up, put it into the mix, and finish it off with an eggnog glaze. Her own words, and I think this was doing the rounds maybe in 2014, is that it's like having Christmas in September.
It really is. It's got that, those nice, like, like cinnamon, clovey.
It's that warm, spice feeling.
Notes. Yes. Okay, back in 2020, Taylor posted this photo with the caption, "When you're proud of your buns, so proud of your buns that you post them on the internet." So that she recently made a specific cinnamon roll famous. So how are these buns involved in her love story?
So Travis Kelce has actually gone on record saying that Taylor makes good cinnamon buns or cinnamon rolls. And this recipe here is actually from a favorite haunt of the couples in Kansas. So the restaurant is called The Rye in Leawood, I believe, in Kansas. And it's where the couple go lots of times, and this is one of their surefire hits. So much so that Taylor was having a girls' night out with Brittany Mahomes, and she ordered these to go as a special treat for all those involved in it. Good?
Yes, please.
Yeah, what makes these so special?
So these are slightly different to the ones served in the restaurant, which are a dough-based ones served in a skillet. Again, it's easy to see why they would be a big hit. These are a much more enriched dough. There's lots more butter in it, so they're slightly like a pastry.
Yeah.
Great thing about these is you can make them ahead, store them uncooked and unglazed in your freezer, take them out, pop them in your oven. Fantastic cinnamon rolls to go.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
That's a hot tip right there.
Another thing that Taylor the baker is known for is her homemade Pop-Tarts. I've never actually had an original Pop-Tart, never in my life, so I want to try yours for sure. And they may have caused some bad blood with the Chiefs head coach. So what is the story behind that?
So yes, as I mentioned, Travis said that Taylor makes good buns. The other thing he said is that, moving on, avoiding that one, she makes good Pop-Tarts. And these have been such a hit that she made them one time for the football team. However, the head coach, Andy Reid, missed out on them. He has got some serious beef with Tay-Tay at this stage.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. And this is, of course, a lot of you are going to know this story, this smart marketing ploy that the toaster pastry brand, actually asked her to release the recipe. They took out a full-page ad in the Kansas City Star.
Come on.
And the Kansas City, and they posted on Instagram. So it read, "To KC's most famous fan, we heard there's a Pop-Tarts pastry, your version, and in its honor, we're donating to Harvesters, a local Feeding America partner food bank. But if you release the recipe, we'll double our donation." So did she?
As of yet, it is unverified. However, Swifties, being the super sleuths that they are, have done some deep diving and background checking. And as I mentioned, Taylor is constantly referring to specific food chefs and bloggers. And they reckon this recipe, which is the one you have here, is from New York Times food site, where they have a recipe for Pop-Tarts.
Okay.
It is incredible.
It's as good as
They're
Tay-Tay.
so good. Okay, so next up we have these oatmeal chocolate chip cookies from the Food Network's Anne Burrell. And Taylor actually tweeted at Anne back in the day saying that discovering these cookies was, quote, a real turning point in my life. Like, wow, dramatic. A powerful cookie. So tell us about these.
So yes, these are indeed life-changing cookies, I can say that. Like I said, she is constantly giving shout-outs. If she finds a recipe that she likes, she will give that person that credit. Hi, Taylor, I'm still waiting. And these are a really good oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. So they're a traditional cookie made with creaming your butter and sugar, adding in your wet ingredients, and then your walnuts, chocolate chips, and there you go. It's fantastic.
And a little bit of salt in it, too.
A little bit of salt. There's a good thing about it. Anne Burrell recommends that when you take them out of the oven, sprinkle them with the salt straight away, and that helps it stick. So it gets you that salty, sweet combination.
Really
So
good.
good.
So good.
I do want to talk about another cookie. There's another chocolate chip cookie recipe that Taylor is known for, and this one might be a little bit more in style right now since it's made with the trendiest fall ingredient, pumpkin. So tell us about this recipe.
So these are pumpkin chocolate chip cookies, and yes, along with the chai ones, they're another one that Taylor is really known for. Like I said, when Tumblr was around, she was really active on that, and fans would always ask her, where did you get the recipe, or could you give me a recommendation for a recipe? This recipe, in Taylor's words, is pretty solid. That's a recommendation if ever there was one. So they're by Food Network chef called George Duran, and basically it's a pumpkin chocolate chip cookie that you make. They're spongy, so they're not like a traditional cookie. They're not crispy and hard. They're quite spongy and cakey.
Okay, let's quickly do the last one, which is a berry pavlova that she made in 2014 for Ina Garten. And it looks like this one might be so delicate. Tell us about it.
Isn't it? So yes, this is an Ina Garten recipe that Taylor loves. It came about because a food magazine did an interview article where they paired celebrity icons. So this was a music icon giving their recommendation, or I guess their hero.
Yeah.
And Taylor chose Ina Garten. They spent the day basically bonding over food, boys, diet, and whiskey sours. What better way to spend the day, really?
Perfect day.
You know?
I hope that's your afternoon. It's perfect. For this incredible Taylor baking tutorial. And if you want a recap of any of these recipes for yourself, head over to our YouTube channel after the show.
And studio audience, listen up. Our friends at Clubhouse want to help you bake it off like T-Swift, so they're giving you all an assortment of products to take home.
What's old always becomes new again, and for the culinary scene, that means desserts from the 1970s are back, baby.
Oh my God, best decade ever. All right, so think Black Forest cake, gelatin molds, and the like, but reimagined for 2024. So here with his take on sweet treats from the grooviest decade is Toronto baker Colin Asuncion. Welcome back to the show.
Some fun.
Oh my God, the music is killing me. It's so great. Lots of trendy restaurants have really recently added versions of classic desserts from the 70s to their menu. So why now? Like, why do you think they're making a comeback?
Well, just like in fashion, food has trends and everything comes back. And I think we've gone through this phase of food looking so serious. And I feel like we see all these desserts that look like they've been made by like a doctor and an architect in a lab in Sweden.
That's true. There's like little like spittle on it or whatever.
Exactly. You need like a tweezer and like 17
Yeah.
sous chefs. But 70s desserts are not like that. They're fun, they're opulent, and they're just like an absolute joy. And I think that's why they're back.
Unpretentious too, I think.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we start this little taste of nostalgia with Black Forest cake. Colin, how is yours different than the one we remember?
So Black Forest cake, it's made of chocolate cake, whipped cream, and cherries. And I've updated every single element. So the cake itself is usually just a regular chocolate cake, but today we have chocolate olive oil cake because I love the flavor. And I know people don't like this word, but I just think chocolate olive oil cake is super moist.
It is.
And moist is good. And then I've swapped the cherries for cherry jam, and then the regular whipped cream is swapped for chocolate whipped cream, just for extra chocolate flavor.
So nice. So normally I find the cherry a bit hideous, and there's the alcohol. It's very boozy. I feel like a traditional one. So what have you made this with liqueur as well?
So this one is booze free, just for a dry February moment. Why not? But if you wanted to have a boozy cake, you could soak your cake layers with kirsch, which is a cherry liqueur, or creme de cacao to have more chocolate flavor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm full of cake right now. So. Food from the 70s is often involved in like over-the-top presentation. They love to like flambe and torching. So we're gonna actually bring some flames to this dessert. So tell us about these meringue chocolate mousse parfaits.
That's right. So hopefully we're not gonna burn the house down
Let's not.
because I don't have fire safety training. So we will be okay. So we have some chocolate mousse parfaits, which have layers of chocolate mousse and a cookie pearl layer. And then we've topped that with a Swiss meringue on top, which we are going to torch.
Okay.
So you each have, so you each have a little torch.
Yeah.
So you can just pull the trigger and just lightly torch the top. It won't take too much time.
Can you start?
And sure, I will start. So we'll do a little demo, test that fire. There it is. Just like oh my gosh. Just a little, and it is on fire. Okay, yeah. And just you get a nice little
it's
light
really
toast.
fun. There's a real,
It is fun, a little movement. Yeah, and then like,
it'll add that like toasted marshmallow flavor. And look, yeah, let's let. Okay.
Oh my
no fire,
gosh.
we're good.
Okay, good. We're good. We did it.
Smell it.
Yeah, it smells like a campfire. Not gonna lie, that made me like super nervous.
We're gonna dive in,
We did it,
Colin.
yeah, absolutely.
We survived. Everything's
We did
not on
survive.
fire. This is reminiscent of another 70s dessert to you. What is that?
That's right. So every time I see a torched meringue, I think of baked Alaska, which is like an ice cream bomb covered in meringue, and then you torch or broil that. So if you wanted to do a mini version of that, you could do this and swap the chocolate mousse for ice cream, and then top it with meringue and torch it just like we did today.
This is amazing.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes. I feel like we can all, I feel like people from a certain era can picture those epic Jell-O molds from back in the day. They were very odd, and like there were things, fruits suspended in them. But you've done it like an updated version, and you say the key to this recipe is properly blooming the gelatin powder. So you're gonna show us how to do that. So let's start with that.
That's right. So if you're using powdered gelatin, you need to bloom it, which is basically hydrating the little granules to make sure that it will gel properly.
Okay.
So science. So we have a little bowl here, and we're just gonna add a little bit of water. We'll call it like 2 tablespoons of water.
Is it warm? Is it cold?
It's like room temp.
Okay.
Lukewarm room temp. And then here is our gelatin powder. This is like 1 envelope package.
Okay.
You just sprinkle that on top.
Got it.
And then you just take a little whisk and you just give it a stir. And then you see it already starts to gel. So you let that sit for a few minutes, and then it will actually become completely solid.
Okay.
And then you actually like add that puck to your hot liquid, and then that is what helps it set and stay solid.
Oh, okay.
Love that.
Nice.
So tell us, love that.
Yeah, it's like already solid.
It's already
which is
solid.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about the lychee, or if you're Asian, lychee
Lychee.
jelly mold that you brought for us today.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna talk about it and cut into it. So I'm definitely gonna make a mess, but you know what? Life is messy. That's
Yes, do it.
Okay, so I've combined 2 desserts. So like a classic jelly mold, as well as lychee jelly, which is one of my favorite childhood treats. So we've suspended real whole lychee fruit, as well as other
see
berries.
them.
Yeah. And then the base is actually a coconut jelly layer. So
Oh my.
maybe I'm not gonna make a mess.
You're,
This is
look
gonna-
at this.
look
It's pretty classy. Oh my gosh, Melissa.
We are making
Oh,
it
for
happen.
me?
Yeah,
Thank
try
you.
that.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is
Please
beautiful.
enjoy.
As you're cutting it, is there a way to make this vegan for our vegan friends?
You know what, there actually is. So instead of gelatin, you could use agar-agar, which is a vegan substitute, and it's made out of, or it's derived from seaweed, if you can believe it.
Oh my
God,
the
this
only,
is fun.
Yeah. The only tip I have for the agar-agar is, oh yeah.
Okay.
make a
I'm
mess.
gonna try this out in a second, but first we want to get to our last dessert, which is pineapple upside down cake. Remember that one?
Yes.
I feel like this one, there's no need for improvement, but talk about what you did differently.
So, you know, I agree, and the only tweak I made was making it mini. So we have these little individual portions. It would be great for a dinner party. I just love pineapple upside down cake. This is one of the first desserts I learned to make, actually, so it's very nostalgic for me.
Sorry, I'm back on this, guys,
Okay.
for a second, because this is actually, like, you'd think it would be tacky and weird, but it's actually refreshing and fun. I'm just sorry,
Oh,
back
good.
on that. It's very delightful.
I'm so glad you
okay.
like it.
So good.
The pineapple upside down cake. Oh my gosh, it's so
Oh,
good.
good. I'm so glad you like it.
We have time quickly for one last one, which
Okay.
is the update on the classic, you either love it or hate it, the tiramisu.
Tiramisu, that's right. So 70s classic. Usually it's an espresso base, but I've updated it by swapping the espresso for matcha green tea because I love matcha. Oh, I love this reaction. Thanks, friends. So yeah, I've just swapped the espresso for a matcha flavor. We have a mascarpone cream instead of a mascarpone custard. It's a little bit lighter, so lovely updated dessert.
It's delicious.
Beautiful.
Oh, good.
Beautiful.
I'm so glad.
You're so good.
Colin,
thank
this
you.
was so much fun and delicious. Thank you. So, listen up, studio audience. Our friends at Healthy Crunch want to help your baking, so they are sending you home with a prize pack worth over $100. Very excited about that.
Loving this one.
So awesome.